it's like, she's on a back road at night. She's going up the road, and all of a sudden she sees a red light, and then it hits the fog, and she drives into the fog. Years later, she's the mistress of the night. Maybe that's the intro. But yeah, that's when at the moment after I went through the fog, I'm like, dude, that is the starting of a book. Hi. I don't know if you can see her. Got ya. This is BB. So if you see me looking around or giving dirty stank eye to animals, this is who I'm giving the stank eye to animals. She's sweetie. Go in. Now. Welcome to the Painful Budgeter. And of course, I am Pynn. I got you some flowers this morning. Trying to practice some shorts. I just downloaded CapCut on my phone, and I figured I'd figure that out a little bit. See if I can do some more pretty shorts than the ones I have. They're kind of blah. So I'm gonna try to play around with that. See if I can get. I keep forgetting to do shorts for my this stuff, for the budgeting one. I've been keeping forgetting to do it. So I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna keep it fresh in my mind. So I'm watching some CapCut. That's the kind I use. And would you guys be interested in like how I set up and that type of stuff, and how I set up my tables, and how I set up my camera, and how far, what angles, and that type of stuff? I wanted to get a couple shorter videos in that I can get piled up and get some how-to playlists. I was going to do like, the 4 things you need to know, and to start a budgeting YouTube channel, and that type of stuff. If any of you guys have any of those types of videos, or if you're interested in some how-to for certain things, if I have the equipment to do it, I will learn about it. And if I don't know how to do it, I will try to look it up and get some stuff that's more specifically budgeting stuff. So if you're like thinking and you're kind of on the shelf and you're tired of going and looking and going to YouTube and how to, and you just like, this is so technical, for doing this type of stuff, it doesn't really take a lot. Not a lot at all. It's the most stuff it takes is your own crushing your own like imposter syndrome. And it was like going, what? No one's going to want to see me. There's nobody out there who's going to want to see me. I'm just saying the same shit that everybody else is saying. And why would anybody? It's like, we don't come to see people putting money into envelopes. We come for the personalities and the stories of the people behind them. So everybody has a story. Get out there and tell that story. If it's simple, if it's detailed, if it's like past mistakes you've made, be it money, be it just life in general, if you're even halfway good at telling a story, you've got a platform. You can make YouTube channels out of anything. I've been watching DoorDashers lately, and they're entertaining. It's like, because I was thinking when I quit, I might want to do some DoorDash. It's like, I'm going to do some research on how to DoorDash. And then I went down that rabbit hole. And some of these YouTuber DoorDashers, they've got like 1,500 subscribers and stuff. And, they make their money doing DoorDash videos because they make more money doing the YouTube videos about DoorDashing and the crap they have to put up with and stuff, and the low pay. The only way they can survive on DoorDash is to videotape it so people will watch it, so they can get more money off of doing the door dashing and that type of stuff. Is kind of it's some of like meaty mama. She's hilarious, and some of the other ones. Okay, let's get her my coffee. Just did a video of me making coffee. I just downloaded the CapCut on my phone, so I figured I was gonna try to do some shorts and stuff and try to make it a little more interesting than the stuff I already have out there. I have the exercise, me talking, and I've kind of learned how to cut them down, and so they're not as boring, but there's a lot more they can get done with them. So I've been doing a lot of, that's one other way to get people to your channel as well. So, and once I get my other channel up, and then I'll probably won't be doing more like 31 days challenge or shorts and stuff like that for this channel, and it'll be mainly just back to this. But I just need to remember to do the shorts for the budgeting. That's my problem. I'm focused on so many different, things I want to do and stories I want to tell and just brainstorming that I forget to do the stuff I started with. So yeah, that is how it is. Here's some flowers for y'all. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. This will be coming out Sunday. I need to work on my thumbnails because I think my last one, story times, they did okay, but I need to put some chapters in them. So if people just want to see the story and don't really give a shit about the budgeting and stuff, they can actually skip to the story. And I also need to do the thumbnail because it looks like it's just a story time and no budgeting. So might do kind of like a triangle, X type of thing with one side. It'll have like the name, and then it'll have like the top and bottom will have like books or the display type of thing, and this side might have a hint at what the story is. I don't know. I see a lot of the thumbnails of like the budgers, and they just have the basic, this type of stuff and just displayed. And I like mine colorful, so I try to do the other stuff and see what works. The mini Mondays don't do too bad. Maybe it's because I probably have a lot of shout outs. Like I said, I need to get some chapters on them so I can have all the shout outs. So if people want to go just to the shout outs and see that, they can. Because everybody loves a freaking shout out, don't they? All right, today we are. I really can't wait till I start my new job or stop driving or whatever, because it is. I know starting a new job, it's you're gonna have to waste money and stuff, and I'll have to probably hustle more to make the same type of money that I was doing before. Actually, I just got a tip on like bus drivers in my Nebo district that they need bus drivers, and they start out pretty good. And that was one of the things I've been thinking about doing. And they're like pretty good schedule, Monday through Friday, occasionally some like trips out for uh, games and that type of stuff. And then, off during the summer mainly, unless there's some games and you want to get some extra money, or if there's like a snowstorm, half the time, you just are called in and stuff, so you don't have to do all that stuff. So it would, and apparently you get paid for the full day, even if you're like, starting in the morning and stopping the night, maybe doing a little bit thing in the afternoon during the spring and summer and stuff. But you still get paid for that full 8-hour chunk. So that's the other thing I didn't realize with the school districts. It's like, how would it would have to be like a double part-time thing. But then I can always do like on my AF hours, do some door dashing and film that, and have a side hustle playlist on my thing. But that's another thing. If you have ideas for side hustles, put it in my comments as well, because maybe I'll do a list of like some side hustles that are good for, different circumstances and stuff. All right, just my mind has just been going a mile a minute. Make sure I'm not in the film. All right, and we get some money. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the weekend on here. Oops, got my mics over there. I also have a couple of my games I emptied out because I'm putting them in my vacation one, because I'm using them for. Actually, I already have almost $400, I believe. So at least that way it's paid for airfare for me to go visiting my sister. So that was just from 2 games, $260 through no spend and Euro card, and I got 250. So that's not bad. Plus I'm going to be using the fill a jar, which is like another almost $200. So there's like $260 right there. So that would be going in there. I'll put this in here for right now. So remind me if I'm wondering where it is. Right there. All right. So with me driving up and back, I'm losing like $70 a week that I usually put into, my sinking funds and games. And so I'm lucky to just get the minis in. And one of the other ladies was like, I want to do some of these big games, but I have no money. She's like, use quarters. I'm like, duh. So one of these days I'll grab an extra 20 and have them change into quarters, and then download some of like fill the box and some of the ones with the mazes and stuff in them. So if you have any good games that you like to play, they're like more of the larger ones, because I want to make a game file with my happy planner type of stuff. So I want to have a happy planner game thing. So if you have some really cool, that's more in depth than these simple A6s. Put them in the comments of which ones you enjoy playing. But I would love to have some ideas so I can. One, I'd like to be able to support some people, and if I get some printable ones, that would be, it's not a whole lot of money. Just do like $5 or $10 a week on some games and collect some, or make some of my own on Canva. That's always fun. But I would rather, support some of these people whenever I can instead of just make my own. Because I used to love to do that. I'd save like $20 to $40 a month and then buy something off of Etsy or something. And I just haven't been able to do that. And I feel like I'm not giving the people the love that they need. Okay, 10, 5, these are 20s. Oh, I didn't count them, did I? No, it's like 450. Here I am saying, I need to do shorts. And, that's one of the shorts they do is the counting of the money. I need to do shorts, or at least pretend I'm counting, because it's usually silent with just, music on the background. So I can just go. 20, 60, 40, 80, 100, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 20, 90, 80, 4, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 450. 450 right there. Yeah. So I'll turn that into a short. I'll put music on it, speed it up a little bit, and count it. But yeah, for real. 1, 2, 3. This is really pretty, but it's like sandpaper. Got this at the dollar store, so it's about like $1.20 something. 30, 60, 80, 100. So that's 400. And 10, 20, 30. That's $30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, and 20. And I need to fix those freaking bills because they are bugging the ever-loving crap out of me. I'm like counting that, and my brain's going, you need to fix it. You need to fix it. I'm like, dude, if I stop, I won't be able to count because then I'll lose track, so I can't count. And yeah, because my attention span and ADHD and dyslexia, just those things just don't work well together when you're trying to count. I hate counting, but I can't wait to do a consolidation this next year because I know I ain't going to be doing it this year, but yeah. So there's just too many bills. Yeah, there's $20. This will be going to, I'm going to take 5 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and replace that with 5. And that will be for my minis for Monday. I got some shout outs this week. I did not get as many subscribers. So sad. Of course, I haven't really been hustling or commenting as much this week. I've just been so busy doing everything else than, this, and it's also getting close to going back to school and last minute summer vacation. So I know it's going to be a little slower anyway, so I'm not too worried. What am I doing? I'll have to turn that into an MSR thingy. What's not the MSR? Is the MSR? Where they kind of sound of it. I swear I'm going to cut out some of this. Probably not. I might just speed it up. Depends on how long it is, because I've got some stories. I totally forgot to do the hook. So today I'll have to put this in the front. Today, on Sunday's story time, I will be doing the stories of the Blood Fog and Pheonix Lights. So stay tuned. Is that good? I hope. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my 2 stories of when I was over the road. Actually, it was probably, the first one was probably when it was like 2005. It was like September, I think it was September, the early month. And they had some sunflares. And it was one of the largest ones in years. And it caused a borealis to go all the way across the state. And I got lucky enough to see some of the rarer phenomenon. And it just happened to us going through a fog bank. All right, but I'll get into that, get a little more creepy. I'm I'm actually going to do a face on because when I'm telling stories, I have a tendency just to not do much. So I figure I'm going to tell the stories actually sitting down and head talking type of thing. Because unless you're just doing dishes and listening to it, it's kind of boring. Yeah, I'm kind of learning. Each time I do it, I learn a little something. And as I watched the other two, it was a good story. But my hands are just for minutes. Just occasionally you'll get excited and so I'm gonna do sit down on my couch, look at my really old quilt or comforter that we've had in the house forever, and watch me sit and tell some trucker stories. Alrighty, what was I doing? Give a real moment. We have some coffee. Make sure I have this lined up properly. I'll have to stop doing. We have some. Dad didn't take his money as last week. I told him I just hold on to it until he's ready for it. So there's some extra money in here, and I didn't get any stuff for phones. So I actually got him to 200 this week because I didn't want to do 2 weeks in a row with 250. Yeah, I made okay money, but I had a lot of bills that came out last week. I had like almost $300. I need to start. Now that I actually have my credit card paid off, so there's $100 there that I can, either bump my account up for the next little while or use in some of these, like I haven't been able to do my 100 envelope thing because of, the gas. A lot of the money from my gas would be going towards that. That's $70 a week. I'd go towards some of these other games. And then now that I at least have the extra $100 that it's kind of freed up, I can, use that a little bit for bumping up one of these or playing some games or just keeping it in my accounts for the first of the month when I have a extra pay, because a couple of things, my phone bill went up and my Prime America went up a little bit. So there's a couple other little things that's like gone up like 10 or 15 or $20 and stuff because I got the new phone and I got the insurance on it because I want to at least get insurance for the first 3 or 4 months to make sure everything's working before I turn it off. Groceries, and I'm doing this backwards. Groceries, we'll be doing $60 this week. 1, 2, and 3. I don't think I need too much this week. I might go shopping. I'm not going to film it because I have some other stuff I want to film. And I don't have a whole lot to do a shop with me, so I'll probably do that next week. I think the only thing I need to do is just a couple things at the grocery store and some pellets over at Cow Ranch. For the El Rabbitoid fur babies, they're getting $30 because the pellets, I usually get them about every 6 months, so I get the huge bag and they're about $25. And that will last her since she's the only rabbit. Target, no, I actually have some money in there. It's always nice. I've got like I got $11. That's not too bad. If I have anything left over from groceries, I usually put it in Target. And then every so often, if I have a little extra good amount of money coming in, then I throw a little extra in there. Gas, Gaius. How much do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 25. I'm just going to build that up to 30. That way I have that ready for. I'm already doing like $30 twice a week. But once I quit in a month and a half, then I'll have some extra money on hand to use. I would like to build it up enough to maybe when I do quit, in case there's a space between job, I have the money and I don't have to worry about it and not hit my account too much. Fix it. I'm going to put a 5 in there. And so that is, I need oil change here soon. 40, 50, 60, 75. I might actually ask my neighbor if he wants to earn a little extra money and have him change my oil out. Because I also have registration this month. So it might be a little cheaper if I just have him do it and then go to the gas station and have them all do it. Well, hey, we'll combine it all and it'll be cheaper, but yeah, not really. Beauty, I'm not doing any beauty. Mountain Country, I'm actually going to I'm not using Mountain Country anymore or drop my trailer off anymore. I did talk to him and so I'm going to use this for the wedding today instead. Clothes, nothing. Spending, nothing. And I use $5 on the crafts. And back to the bank for baby's car. Yep, it's all good there. And I checked my weight. This week I've been up and down, but I've been doing a lot more weightlifting. So I'm hoping the weight gain is actually muscle weight. And I've been, so it's been fluctuating. I'll gain some and then it'll gradually start to lower and then I'll gain a little bit and it'll gradually start to lower. So I'm just going to have to wait till the end of the month. And as long as I end up still losing money at the end of the month, this is for the car. I knew I forgot something. I was staring at it. Groceries, car. And I have just 20 in there. Car's like 250. So it's not too bad. Ooh, it's sweaty in here. Okay, so minis. Oh, I was gonna print up the minis. I'll do that. I'll do a Euro card with my minis because I haven't had a chance to go get online and print that up over at FedEx. So I will do these two together. I was going to show how it works because that's one of my freebies is Euro card. Oh, but I do have the 150. So fill the jar. And I've also been up and down on the not eating after midnight thingy or 9 o'clock. So I'll do good for like the first half of the week, and then by the end of the half of the week, it's like, screw it. Alright, so I have 2, 4, 6, 10, so 8, 9, and 10. So I got $10 there. $10 here. And I was going to actually take some of this out, the big bills. I'll keep those back in there and start to rebuild this. So 30, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. I am actually going to take the extra money out of here. And where is, and the money that I had out of the other two. And I'm going to put it in my vacation sinking fund. That way, because this I had out on my table and I didn't want to have that much money just displayed, and this one I kind of hide. And I got this on Etsy. This is an A5, very good quality. It's linked in my bio of the lady who does it. Registration, I haven't even been able to get extra money on registration. How much do I have on there? 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 120, 40, 40, 40, 50, 60, 75. So hopefully that should pretty much cover it all. This registration can be freaking expensive out here. Taxes, fun money, I got a little fun money, home decor, vacation. And I did these myself. I need to start saving up for my vacation with my nephew when he graduates, because I've been taking everybody out for a vacation or giving him $1,000 for graduating. That is that. And then I will go, whoop, that's on here. It's so thin now that I've taken that out. Yeah, here's the Euro card. I actually printed some up on Canva, so I'm going to get rid of this and add the new one in instead. And then I'll start refilling that, and I'll show something. I got $15. So hopefully it doesn't do more than 15. And I will put that in my other thing. card. And now we'll be cutting to myself and we'll tell the story of the blood fog and the Pheonix lights. Thank you for joining me for the budging thing, and I'll try to figure out how to do the heck are they called? Chapters. And I'm going to try to go back through some of my other my other videos and try to put chapters in some of them as well. And because I got Monday off, I got doctor's appointments, so I have an extra day off. I wanted to do some extra videos and brainstorm on stuff that I can do. So if you're like a newbie and you have ideas on how you do things, it helps, put it in the comments. I wouldn't mind doing a video on how setting up and phone and either phone showing how I set up the phone to film it in the different angles and maybe even do some shots. I still need to do OBS so I don't have anything that I can actually webcam because I don't have a webcam. So it's basically just my phone. Hopefully in the future I will get a webcam and I'll get OBS and I can do some more how-to videos. But right now I'm just looking for ideas so I can brainstorm and start kind of getting them fleshed out. So when I do have that equipment, I can do it. But if there's something that I can do a how-to that doesn't need explanation onto the computers or the phones and stuff, that'd be awesome as well. And I'll figure it out. But I like to get some evergreen stuff put into my playlist. That way I always have people coming in and views and stuff. Might help with the viewer rate and that type of stuff. So yeah, if you have ideas and you have the equipment to do some of these how-tos, then kind of niche it down just for the budgeters, like do a full playlist of like how to set up Canva, how to make A6 type of things, how to print them up when you don't have a printer, how to, all these other little things, because there's a lot of situations out there that, when you're starting out and you don't have a lot of equipment, where do you go to look for this equipment? Do you have family members that you can get some, if you want to get a little camera or a GoPro or something like that, so you can get B flip, this setup, you really don't need B film, and you don't need to get that. Is pretty much shoot and download. You can do as basic as that. Just do one shot, almost no editing. Maybe on your phone you can get some CapCut or Canva, and then just do some simple little thumbnails to add into it. You can, because you can do a lot of stuff on your phone if you have the space for it. And so there's a lot you can do, and from the very basic to fancy with, all kinds of things flying around your screen and noises, and get as clean cut to as bonkers as you want. Okay, I have been rambling enough. Get this thing done. I need to go to the gym, and then I'll come back and film the other two. I need to get online and print up those, send some, I also have some freebies I want to go look at and print up and have sent to Print and Go for FedEx. I have FedEx near me. And that way you just email your downloads to Print and Go, and then you show up and then they'll send you back. Well, it usually takes about 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, and you'll get a little email back that says, "Congratulations, your things are ready to go," and they'll give you a little code, and then you just go in there and say, "Hey, if you're using cash, you say, 'Hey, I need a cash card,' and they'll give you a cash code, and they'll give you a little code to punch in, and it's like a $20 code, and then you'll pay for it and take it up in cash, or you can just use a Visa or your debit card or something like that and just swipe it right on the machines." So it works really nicely. Hopefully all that recorded and then my face isn't in the screen. That's always fun. Hi.
All right. Oh, welcome to my story time. I thought I'd try this without doing just the hands thingies, because that's all you saw, and I'd start talking about the dang story, and then all you see is like hands. Not even moving. Not even, just occasionally be like. So I figure we'll do the story a little bit more. I have the story written down here. Actually, I have quite a few stories. These are like some of the stories I have kind of just for ideas and stuff. I have like 20 or 30. These are just trucking stories. After 23 years, you kind of have you kind of pick up a couple stories, and so I write them down. You are annoying me. But I've been writing them down, and I might later on, once I figure out how to do the animated type of things, I might learn how put these stories like in a little animated thing. Truck driver driving down the road, entering blood fog. She turns into a vampire or something like that. I don't know. Because I swear this story is like something you'd see like in Marvel. You know, it's like she's on a back road at night. She's going up the road, and all of a sudden she sees a red light, and then it hits the fog, and she drives into the fog. Years later, she's the mistress of the night. Maybe that's the intro. But yeah, that's when at the moment after I went through the fog, I'm like, dude, that is the starting of a book. Hi. I don't know if you can see her. Got ya. This is BB. So if you see me looking around or giving dirty stink eye to animals, this is who I'm giving the stink eye to animals. She's sweetie. Go away. That's probably all covered up. Hopefully she didn't just mark me or something. She like cut me. Anywho. So I have like some stories, and I like to animate them when I get to the point and learn how more. I am completely computer illiterate when I first started this YouTube channel, so I have been learning as I go. Each week I try to add a little bit more, add a little bit something to my videos, and that's why I'm starting this other channel, because it has different stuff. You know, that'll be the it'll probably be next month or so when I actually get it started. But I want to learn how to do stuff, and learn how to do vlogging, and I'm gonna start out with weight loss, because why not? I'm in that journey already. Lost 60 pounds, and so I'm gonna try to build my body up so I can do some like overnight hiking and that type of stuff, and be able to go up and down a mountain without 3 steps. Need a break. 3 steps. So yeah, I'm trying to get myself into a better position so I can do some like overnight hiking. And when I was younger, I used to always watch the videos of the people hiking the Pacific Coast Highway and the highway off of the eastern coast, the something corridor. If you remember it, put it in the comments. But it goes from Georgia all the way up to Maine, and then the Pacific Coast Highway, excuse me, goes from Mexico to Canada. And that was always one of my dreams. And I want to build up to be able to do that and learn how to go camping and hiking into places and stuff. And I also wanted to hike the Y out here for one of our teams out here. It's like straight up the mountain, and they light them up sometimes. So I thought that'd be cool to be able to go from like 310 pounds to be able to do some of these long endurance hikes. But so let's go and get into some of these stories. The last week or whatever, I did the monster and the monkey and the other thing, and the week before that it was like the my boobies won me $1,300. You guys picked that. I picked that thing out of a hat. I was whatever. Okay, first story. It's like I'll get to the point. As blood fog. This happened about 2005. It was fall. What was it? September? I think it was around September. Sometime September. I think I actually looked it up online to see when the what is it? What the heck do they call it? When the sun goes nova, because we'd be dead. Sun flare. Yeah, when they had some major sun flares going on at that time, and it was like September 5th or whatever. It was fall. It was almost fall. It was starting to cool off. Well, as cool as it can get in Georgia. But I was coming out of Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. I had just dropped off a load, and I was heading north. It was late at night, and I was listening to Coast with George and Nori. I need to stop bumping that table. But I was listening to Coast to Coast with Coast to Coast with George Nori. Yeah, there we go. And they were talking, about space and stars and galaxies. And they're just doing kind of a space day. And they were just happened to mention that night they had one of the largest sun. Geez, I just said it. Not sun rays. Solar flares. So one of the largest solar flares in a couple years is like an X20 or X24 or something like that. And so it was expected to have the I can never say this word. The borealis. The pretty northern lights. The borealis. A borealis. Or a borealis. I don't know. But the northern lights, you always see the pictures with the green and the blue and all the other ones. Well, I'm like going, that would be so freaking cool to see. I'm like going, but I'm in Georgia. There's no freaking way I could see some some northern lights all the way down here in freaking Georgia. I'm going down Interstate 90, or well, going up Interstate 95, and it's very hilly. And you're going up these little hills and going. It's not like I live on the West Coast, and so when we think of hills, we think out there's just go to the one thing, you can see the bottom of the hill, and you're coming back up. They're kind of close together, and you get the big old like oak trees on the side of the road, and they have the Spanish moss, and sometimes you can see the moss going all the way across the power lines and everything. So and this is like a full moon type of night, or at least there's still enough light that you can kind of see the light coming through the trees. So it's throwing a lot of weird shadows and stuff. And so it was a quiet night because I enjoy driving in the East Coast at night because, well, there's just too many freaking people living out there. And so I was driving in there. It was nice and quiet and listening to Coast, getting freaked out because I love listening to Coast when I was driving overnight a lot. And and I was thinking, it'd be really cool to see some northern lights. That would just be freaking awesome. And so I'm driving, nighttime, a little bit of fog coming in out of the valleys, out of the hills and stuff. And out in the distance, I see a red light, red beam of light going straight up. And my first thought was going, that's weird. It must be maybe someone's testing some of those. You see them at Halloween, near the horror, the haunted houses and stuff, or where they'll go in. They have those huge light thingies, and usually they have 3 lights, and they'll start out and one beam, they'll split, and then they'll start to rotate around each other and stuff. Well, at first I'm going, well, it must be one of them. And it's just kind of a weird color. I've seen them in different colors and stuff sometimes and stuff, but normally you don't see them in red, and so I think it's just one straight light, straight up and down. And I'm going, well, that's odd. Maybe they're doing a test for a haunted house nearby. That sounds fun. And then the red light turned into a ribbon, and it just went across the whole sky. And I'm going, oh, that's what. Oh my God, I'm seeing it. Oh my God, Georgia. I'm seeing a freaking northern lights in Georgia, and are they supposed to be red? I've never heard of red auroral. I actually looked it up later, and I'm like, they do happen. They're extremely rare. So I'm not only am I seeing the results of a solar flare, the northern lights down in freaking Georgia. It's one of the rare ones because I guess from the angle and the altitude, it will change different lights, different colors and stuff because of the altitude or the angle of the Earth and all that. I don't know that science. If you know about the science jargon, give me a paragraph in the comments and say, this is how it happens. This is how you get the different lights. I'm not that smart. I could research it, but yeah, it was cool because this is just a ribbon going across the sky, and it was just straight up and then across the sky. I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. And then right at that time, I started going down the hill and into the little valley between the hills. At the very bottom was fog, and it was close to the ground, but it was a good fog bank because it could actually cover my whole truck, and I'm 5-6 feet off the ground because I'm in a semi, and so I'm watching myself approach this fog bank, and it was like a river of white just going across the freeway. It looked it was really cool looking. So I'm hitting this fog bank, and I'm entering this fog bank at the same time that the aurora borealis, the northern lights, reflected off of that, the fog. So the minute as I entered that fog, it turned blood red. And so I'm driving through blood red. And like I'm going, oh, so this is how it starts. This is how I become a vampire. A night stalker. And it's like some sort of solar flare. And all the actually that would probably be a pretty good comic book. You know, truck driver driving down the road, seeing the borealis. Borealis. Northern Lights. Hitting the fog bank and shoo, comes out the other end, bloodsucker. But it was probably one of the most, it was the awesomest thing, the most awesomest thing I've seen. And you know, I've seen some weird stuff out there, but that was probably one of the things that really stuck in my brain. You know, I've seen ghosts, I've seen bikers collide, I've seen some weird shit out there. But, you know, I've seen stealth bombers flying through the air, like 20 feet above the truck, just floating there. I've seen Northern Lights, which I'll be getting into next. And it's just been really, it's just one of those things where you're like going, you just had to be at the right spot at the right time to be able to have, one, you had to be awake at that time to see the Northern Lights come that far south. And two, you had to be in an area where you could hit a fog bank at the same time where that thing goes across the sky to be able to reflect into the fog bank as you're going into it. Because I know there were some other drivers going through the fog bank and they're like, I was just wondering, what were they thinking? Are we going to come out the other end and we're going to be in some other universe type of shit? And, you know, it's like, actually, that'd probably be a good book too. Hey, if you need an idea for books, you know, truck drivers driving down the road, entering a fog bank and exiting in another universe. Just give me credit for it, all right? Just send me a Starbucks card or something. I don't know. Okay, and my next story, so since we're doing kind of weird phenomenon in this little story, I tried to keep them as, you know, kind of close to each other so I'm not just all over the place like the last one where actually I did 3 M's and they were kind of the animals you see on the road. And this one I'm going to do some of the weird phenomenon that you see that's, you know, something you're not going to see that often. You basically have to be the right place at the right time. And this one, I was coming out of Phoenix, heading towards Vegas, over on US 93. And if you see me looking down here, I'm kind of glancing at my notes. I've already pretty much have it in my head, but I write it down as well, just so in case I have a brain fart and go, oh yeah, there it is. But yeah, so, oh, she's pretty quiet today. Are you going to be good? Have you had your time in the camera? All right. Sorry, like I said, I have ADHD and I have, like, my mind goes from here to here to here to here and then back again. I could cut it out and pretend I'm a normal person, but I'm not that normal. So, anywho, you know, my mom and dad has seen UFOs before. You know, they're driving in the desert and coming up a thing and seeing a light in the sky, thinking nothing of it, helicopter, something like that, and then all of a sudden it goes straight up. And so I've heard people tell me, you know, about some of these weird things they've seen in the night sky and stuff, and I've never seen it. And, you know, I love watching the shows about it. It's like, that's kind of cool, that's kind of creepy, and you know, but I never experienced anything like that. And I don't think I've experienced anything since. But it was at nighttime. It was just after, stop putting your foot on the thing, you're shaking everybody. Holy crud. Things I need to learn what not to do. But I was on US, all right, scroll back to the topic. I was coming out of Phoenix and I was on US 93. And if you look on a map, you know, it kind of crosses from Phoenix straight up through Kingman, and then you can either go to California or you can go into Vegas or into Flagstaff if you want to go that way. But I don't know why you'd want to do that when you could just go straight up. Anywho. It's what I said, squirrel moments. But yeah, I was on Interstate 95. It was just after dusk. And, you know, it's that time of the night where the sun had gone down, so you can, and all the stars were just barely starting to prop up here and there and there. And I'm in the middle of the desert, so when the stars do come out, they come out in force. And, you know, I'm driving in it, but I'm still close enough to the city that I can look in my rear mirror and I can see the glow of Phoenix behind me. And in out in the thing, they have Wickenburg, so there's maybe a tiny bit of a light, but not much because it's a small little town, so you're not going to get much of a light pollution. So the sky is really clear, and it was beautiful night. I don't even think there was any moon or anything. It was just a clear night. And so I'm just, my own business, looking and watching the stars pop out and calculating how long it's going to take me to get to this point B. Do I need to stop here? Do I need to stop at Kingman? All the trucker thoughts in your brain. And if calculation goes, if I'm going 65 miles an hour and I go this, I can get into Pheonix about this, as long as there's nothing wrong with the blah, 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 all them type of calculations. Who would have thought when you're growing up and you have to do those word problems for math would actually come in handy if you become a truck driver? Anywho, freaking flies. But just before I said, I was probably about 10 or 15 miles out from Wickenburg. It's a Wickenburg? I don't know. Wickenburg. I saw like two lights just kind of appear in the sky above me. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It looked like a plane. And so, didn't think about it. Because at first I was like, oh, it could have just been some stars coming out. And like, then I'm looking and I go, it's a little bright. It's probably a plane. And then, I'm just going down and going, wait a minute, there's no red and green lights on those things. So normally when you see an airplane, it's like you see the red and green lights and stuff, and they've been going off and off and on. And I wouldn't see them. Like, are there two helicopters up there? And they're just, looking for something or weird, because it's just kind of weird. And then, this kind of gotten closer and closer and closer, and then the two lights turned into 4 lights, and then 5 lights, and then 3 lights, and then 4. And I'm like going, what the hell is going on? Planes don't really, and it's not like they're going to sequence. They're not like outside, inside, outside. Maybe it was like you have one light turn on, and then another light turn on, and then these two stay on, and then a third light over here, and then 2 lights over here, and the other 2 would turn off, and then the other 2 would, like, it almost seemed like they'd rotate, and it was really weird, and then they'd stay on, and they change shape, so almost like a V form, and then they'd be straight, and then one would be telling. So there's like, unless they're like helicopters. And then I was realizing as they got closer and closer, I'm in a semi that's 13.6, and I'm up off the ground about 5 to 6 feet off the ground as well, sitting in my seat. So I'm looking up at these things going, those things look like they're about 15 to 20 feet above my truck. And I'm like going, I gotta be able to see some sort of plane or even spaceship or anything. I'm looking at these lights and there's nothing. I can't see anything. It's like all I see is the lights, and they're like bright and dim. They're moving, and it was just like, what type of things make like lights like that? Unless it's like ball lightning, but this is desert. I've seen some ball lightning, and I've seen like lightning traveling across the lines and stuff, and that's kind of weird. But and even if they are ball lightning, they're usually not in a form like that. Usually like 1, maybe 2, you see some across the ground and stuff, and there's like no storms. It's just clear sky. And so I'm like looking at these things going, I should be able to see whatever is between those lights. They shouldn't just be a light, unless this like, and this is like before drones. This is like 2000, and if they are drones, then they're like when they're starting to test them, when the military was starting to test them, that could be possible. They could have been testing different types of drones and stuff, and just playing around with them and stuff, and having different lights, and because sometimes they seem like they're close together, sometimes they seem like they're far apart, and sometimes they're like angled and stuff, and I can't see any type of the rest of the vehicle at all. They're just, and they're like maybe 15 to 20 feet above me. And at least that's what they looked like. I don't know, could just been my head or something, but they looked like they were very close. And you could see the light, and you could see them moving. And then after about 5 minutes of this was not something that just came out of nowhere. Boom. No, this was like 5 minutes of this stuff going on. And I'm just like, the heck is this? Are they gonna freaking land on me? And then about the 5 minute mark or so, and I'm driving, I'm going miles down the road, and they're keeping track with my damn truck. And I'm like going, am I gonna have some sort of weird close encounter, and I'm gonna have to tell my friends, and they're gonna think I'm crazy, and I'm gonna have to go into a hospital, and then I'm gonna be in a straitjacket, and then it's ADHD, my brain goes off into way different places. But And then about after 5 minutes, they just blinked out. Nothing. And I'm just going, I'm slowing down. I'm rolling down the window, seeing if I could hear anything. Nothing but the wind. I am not hearing anything. No vibrations, no nothing. No hum. It was just silent, just the lights. And I'm like going, I'm going to stop and get me a cup of coffee because I don't know what. I just started my day. I was not tired. I just came from Pheonix, and this was only like a 40 minutes in, so I wasn't quite tired yet. But I'm like, I think I'm going to stop over in Wickenburg and get me a cup of coffee and walk around the truck stop a couple times because I don't know what's going on in my head. I usually don't see shit. I don't, I've seen some shit, but I don't really, like, see shit, And so I stopped into the truck stop, went in and get me a cup of coffee, and I'm like, so, this might be a little bit of a weird question, but has anybody reported any weird lights out here lately? And he goes, oh yeah, we get them all the time. There's some sort of air base out here. They're doing stealth types of technology. You don't see shit. And I'm like going, yeah, I know. I just saw them, but yet didn't see them at the same time. And then I'm like going, okay, good. Because I thought I was just seeing shit. Okay, good. So everybody else is seeing the same shit they're not seeing, And I'm like going, okay, I'm going to put that in my book of weird shit I've seen. And, well, I did. I just put in my book of weird shit I've seen. And so I went on my merry way, just kind of going down the road going, and the rest of the night I'm like, rolling down the window. Well, you don't roll down the window anymore like that. I used to roll down the window like that, but now it's like, I'm gonna get a Pheonix and I'm gonna go play me some video games or play me some games. Maybe that's a sign I'm gonna win big. Nope, I've still been trucking for the last 26 years, so I didn't win big. But I did have a good story for it. So thank you for joining me on The Painful Budgeter. That was my story time this Sunday. I hope you liked it better in person instead of just the hands. Because there are only many type of jazz hands you can do when you're telling a story. If you have any stories you like to hear online, send me an email. Some of the weird shit you've seen, going cross country, going on vacation, or just in your own backyard. My dog has seen some stuff in my own backyard. I've had some weird stuff happen in my own yard. So, yeah, if you want me to tell your story, write me a story and email it at painful78, and I'll try to. I don't really check that email that often, so I'll have to remember to check it every so often. But yeah, if you have a story and you'd like me to add it, maybe do a weird road trip month type of stories. I would love to hear some weird road trips. Anywho, and I'll get your name out, so you can always put your channel if you have a channel. If you don't have a channel, well, then I'll shout out a channel that you like. Thank you for listening to me. You have a great day. Love y'all. Bye. Wait a couple seconds so I can do a cut. Well, I just ruined that. Anyways, bye. Please tell me I recorded.